The dating world is clearly a mess because I am back with some more dating nightmares.
So I met this guy in Edmonton, and again on Tinder. I was new to this city, and we strike up a conversation. We're hitting it off. He's interested in the same things as me, wants the same things as me, lives with his best friend, his wife, and that daughter, who he's the godfather of. And he's in school to be the teacher of our children today. And so we have a date set, and it's like around Halloween-ish or something. But then he actually asks for our date to be sooner. And he asks me if I would like to take his goddaughter trick-or-treating with him. And to me, that was like, okay, like he must be looking for something serious. He must see those qualities in me to ask me to do that with him. Yeah. At the time, I wasn't drinking, and he said he wasn't a drinker either. And yeah, we had plans to trick-or-treat with his goddaughter.
I would actually love that as a first date. Hey, you want to go trick-or-treating? That'd be so much fun.
But then super last minute, he was like, hey, actually, do you mind going to a house party with me? Like, I just have to make an appearance for my friends. And this guy has a cute little dog, and he's always bragging about like what a good dog daddy is for his dog. And so he's like, yeah, we're just making an appearance for my friend's party. So he brings the dog and me, and I'm new to Edmonton. I have no idea where I am. I meet him at his house, and before I'm even in the door, like to get my shoes off and say hello to him, he's ushering us out the door to this party with his dog. Which, by the way, he then forgot his dog in the truck for a couple hours.
Okay. Okay.
And he also had a case of beer. So we go to this party that he drives us to, and he starts playing like flip cup and beer pong. And this guy is telling me that he doesn't drink, and he just wants to make an appearance. And he drove us to the party, me, his roommate, and himself. And what? I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, is this guy gonna be ready to go soon? Like, what the f? It's 11 o'clock. And he had even asked me, he's like, are you ready to go soon? I'm like, yeah, whenever you are. And so this is at 11, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. A couple hours pass, and this guy has obviously drank too much to drive, and I'm pissed.
I would have already Ubered home at this point.
Like, I'm sitting on the couch, mad. His roommate's there, staring at me. He can see how mad I am. And I'm mad. Like, this guy told me he doesn't drink, he doesn't party, we're into the same things, and here we are at a party, and he can't drive. And I had one glass of wine hours ago at this party, and I'm like, seriously. So by now, it's like 1 something in the morning, and he asks me to crash on the couch with him at his friend's house. People I do not know and have never met, and like, I want to go home tonight. So I take his keys and I kick him and his roommate's butt into that truck, and I made his roommate navigate me to their house, and I dropped these guys off, and I went home.
You made it farther than I would. Let me tell you, I'm not sitting on a couch for hours on this first date with some guy I don't know who does that. Y'all are grown men. You can Uber home, and I will do the same. Call a cab, anything. Because you had to have done it from his house anyway. There's no way I'm sitting there till 1 in the morning for me to get home at 5. There's not much that I will stay awake till 5 in the morning for at this point in my life. Not much.
This was a couple years ago, so I'm going out with this guy, and he picks me up for the date. We're going bowling. And we get there, and we're paying, and he's like, oops, don't have my wallet, you pay. And I'm like, okay. But like, it was weird the way he said it. And then the whole time he was just kind of being weird, and I was like, oh, this is annoying. So then we're driving back, and all of a sudden he gets this call from these 2 girls, and they're like, hey, come to this party, like, we want to be with you. And then this other girl like interjects, and she's like, but I'm not gonna let you f her. And I'm like, oh my god. So then he hangs up, and he's like, so, want to go to this party with me? And I'm like, nope, can you just drop me off? And we had just passed my exit, and he's like, ooh, we passed your exit. Can I let you out of the supermarket parking lot or something right over here? It's like 10:30 at night. So he lets me out of the supermarket parking lot alone in the dark. And I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. Let's just hope I don't get kidnapped or worse. And he's like, should I wait? And I'm like, sure, for sure. So I get out of the car. I'm sitting there waiting for my Uber.
You know, I was so excited for the beginning of the story because I'm like, bowling? What a fun first date idea. I just bowled when I went to Arizona, and I haven't bowled in years. I don't remember the last time I bowled. It was so much fun. Okay, so first dates out there, bowling. Don't sleep on it. It's a good time. However, this date did not end with the excitement that I went into it with. Yeah. The phone call would have been enough, but then to leave me in a parking lot. I feel like this is the type of person that wouldn't wait for you when they drop you off to get inside the house. You know, like they just drive away.
Get ready for work with me while I tell you about a date that was so bad that I had to just get up and leave. So this guy from work asks me on a drinks date. So we go to this pub and we're actually having a nice time. We're getting on well, chatting away. So at one point, kind of out of nowhere, this guy says to me, "Do you have thick skin?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, I want to tell you something that my roommate said, but like,
oh, no,
I'm just
don't
wondering,
say it.
like, you know, do you have thick skin?" So I'm thinking, right, I'm about
Don't
to get
say it.
insulted here. That's why this guy's asking me, do I have thick skin? Because he's gonna say something mean to me. So this guy says to me, "Oh, well, I showed your Instagram to my roommate, and he said, oh, she's pretty, but she looks chubby in her photos, so she's probably gonna be chubby in real life." On a date, on an actual date, somebody said this to me. So I'm like sat there kind of in disbelief. Like I really was just sat there, like it took me like a few minutes to process it, and I'm like looking at him. And then he obviously realizes, oh shit, like she's really offended, obviously. And he like tries to like revert, and he goes, "Oh, but you're not, but like don't worry, but like now, you know, then I've met you in person, like you're not chubby in real life." Great. And at this point, my mood like shifts instantly.
Then why say it? But why, even if they were, why say it?
And I'm just like, "You have made an enemy, sir. I am pissed off." I said to him, I said, "How do you think that's going to make me feel? Do you think that's nice for me to hear that somebody had a negative comment about me and was like, oh, she looks chubby in her photos?" And then he tried to gaslight me and made it out that I was getting all upset and offended over nothing. The absolute cheek of him. He said, "I never said it was a bad thing. You're taking this negatively. You are taking this comment as a negative comment, but I never said it negatively." I said, "No, you prefaced this by asking me, did I have thick skin?" Like, you're not asking someone if they've got thick skin to then be like, "Oh, I showed my roommate your Instagram and he thought you were Bella Hadid." And like, I tried to explain, I was like, this is going to be in my head now. Like, you've put this in my head that someone looked at my photos and thought that I looked chubby in a negative way. And I'm thinking, is that what everyone else thinks? Like, whenever I post a photo, I'm like thinking, do I look chubby? Like, or do other people think that I look chubby? And again, like, I shouldn't be thinking that's a negative thing, but that's just society that we live in, okay? So yeah, I gave him a little lecture for a few minutes, and then I was like, right, well, I'm gonna go. I'm leaving. So yeah, that is one of the worst dates I've ever been on. Hope you enjoyed.
Horrible. Not to mention, you gotta work with this guy now. That's a person from work, let's not forget. So you have to see this person every day. In what world, like, how did your mind convince you that that would be a good idea to say to another person? I don't know what happened up there. There was like, yes, this next sentence, say it. It's a good one. And make sure you ask if she has thick skin first, because that's really just the cherry on top. Oh my God, guys. My stomach is grumbling like crazy. I need to eat some breakfast. So I'm gonna fill it with some water in the meantime. You should too. Hydrate, take a sip. Cheers. Oh my God, if you hear it rumbling, it's so loud. I don't know if my mic ever picks it up, but it is like, it's wild.
I am here to present you with possibly the craziest first date story I have ever experienced. I met this guy on Hinge, planned a date. We're supposed to grab dinner at this little Italian spot. About, I'm gonna say 4 hours before the date, he texts me and says, "Hey, sorry, something came up, I can't make it." I'm like, "No worries, bye forever." Because I hate a last minute cancellation, especially if you don't have a good excuse. It's one thing if you have like a family emergency, but he was just like, something came up. Something suddenly came up. Anyways, then 4 hours later, at the time that we're supposed to meet for dinner, I get a text from him. It says, "I'm outside, let me know when you get here." And I text him back and I say, "Sir, you canceled our date. What do you mean you're outside?" And he responds, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I canceled on the wrong person." Sir, that means he made two different date plans with me and another woman, and then at the last second decided who he actually wanted to go out with, and canceled dinner with the wrong person. Naturally, I did not respond, but that might be one of my worst first date experiences on a date that I didn't even go on. But it really verified my theory, which is that if someone cancels on you last minute, don't give them a second chance, barring like an actual emergency, because it's just player behavior, it really is.
Oh, wow.
Let me know what you think in the comments. How would you have handled this one?
The classic double booking a date. The worst part is that he double booked the same date same time. A lot of people actually, when they're just going on dates, not seeing someone, just going on a first date, I've seen a lot of people just date around in the sense like, oh, I'm just going on dates. I just want to meet with people, have a connection, get to know someone, have a conversation. They don't, if they pursue one person, you don't continue with someone else. So I've heard that many times. A lot of people, especially in their 30s, like they date around. They go on multiple dates. You don't book them for the same day at the same time. Like, that's so mean, because you knew when you booked it that you were gonna have to decide on which one you were gonna go, and you were gonna cancel on someone last minute. Like, you fully knew that, and you were okay with that plan.
So once upon a time I was talking to this guy. I grew up in quite a small area and he was from the local area. And we had a lot of mutual friends. We had been to the same sort of house parties, around in the same sort of groups. He was very close to someone that I was best friends with. And there had been flirtation a few times, but we had never really talked properly, like one-on-one. Until he messages me one day on some sort of social media platform, can't remember which one. And he's like, hey, I love your new profile pic. Really like happy that he's messaged me out of the blue because I've always fancied him. Yeah, we get talking and we swap numbers and we're talking on either WhatsApp or BBM. Yeah, this was a while ago. And after a few days of talking, he's like, oh, you know, should we go out on a date? And we do, we go out on a date. We see not one, but 2 movies within our date, but we sandwich a Nando's in between. So see the movie, go to Nando's, see the second movie. I worked nearby as well, and I kind of brought him in and introduced him to some work friends of mine, which he was completely happy to do, showed no resistance to that at all. Got to know my manager. Well, not got to know him, but you know, everyone made friends, you know, I'm on a date with this guy sort of thing. The first film was nice and whatever, and it was a date, like nothing happened, but he was very complimentary. He said, oh, you look really nice today. And I was like, oh, thanks. Thank you. At the end of the date, we even arranged to see each other again. Everything seemed like it was going well, so, you know, I was happy. It seemed like he was happy. After our Nando's movie date, we continued talking, we continued messaging each other on a daily basis. He's very flattering and stuff, giving me compliments, flirting, as they do in the early stages. And I don't know why, I just decide to quickly check his Facebook. And listen, I don't use Facebook. My Facebook is an archive of all the people I've ever known, and most of those people I do not speak to, or their family. Who really uses Facebook these days? Facebook is just for contact storage. I check his Facebook and I go on there while we're talking.
Why is that the most accurate description of Facebook ever? Especially, I feel like, for people in their 30s and above. That is so accurate.
And I look on his profile, and as his relationship status, it says, in a relationship with some girl. I go on this girl's profile, and there's pictures of them 2 together. So I go back into WhatsApp, and while he's literally sending me messages, flirty messages, I just say to him, do you have a girlfriend? And he's like, yeah, I do. Why? And I'm like to him, we went on a date. And he's like, yeah, I know we did. Yeah, it was a really nice date. I really enjoyed it. And I just said to him, if you're in a relationship, why are you going on dates? And he goes to me, oh, because I think you're nice. I've always thought you're nice. And, you know, I saw your profile picture, so I just thought we could go out. Like, what's the problem? I said, does your girlfriend know we went on a date? He goes, no, but it's not a big deal, is it? I said, well, yeah, it is a big deal, because imagine she was in the cinema that day and she saw her, which means I'm going to get an angry woman on my case being like, why you want a date with my man? He was all calm about it. He's just like, look, it's not a big deal. We had a nice time. I always wanted to go on a date with you. So of course there's nothing else to say. I just block him. I tell my friend, who we are both mutual friends with, what happened. And she's like, yeah, he's a nice guy, but I should have told you he's a player. I didn't know he had a girlfriend though. And I said to her, yeah, maybe I should have spoke to you first. Because even if you had spoken to me, I wouldn't have known he had a girlfriend. I guess my message here is just be careful who you date, because you don't know if you're dating someone else's man.
Be careful you date, and also check Facebook. Although I never change my status. I don't even know what mine says. I'm in a relationship for almost 5 years. I have no idea what my relationship status says on Facebook. I feel like maybe can you put nothing and delete that from your bio? Because I might have done that. I only changed my Facebook status because one of my exes way back in the day wanted that. And they wanted me to put in a relationship with and them. And then I'm like, yeah. And then when we broke up, I had to remove it. And then that shows up in the feed. When you remove it, it's no longer in a relationship with. It shows up in the freaking feed. So then everyone knows you, like, why would we want that? I should have never agreed to that. That was so stupid. We also dated for like 6 months, by the way. So Yeah, definitely shouldn't have done that.
So this guy asked me on a date, and when I tell you he was
God, you're
hot,
pretty.
like, I mean, he was hot. Tall, blue eyes, brown hair, literally exactly my type. So of course I said yes. I mean, I was excited. So anyways, he was like, let's go see a movie. And I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, a movie on the first date, like, how we're supposed to get to know each other. Plus that's kind of sketch, because we all know why boys...
I just raved about that movie today. I'm like, yeah, movies on the first date suck. When they're a stranger, you don't know them yet, you can't get to know them. But then I was like, oh wow, a movie, some food, and another movie, but they already kind of knew each other. So that would be fun, but not as a first date, like with a stranger. You don't even know them. What do you guys think about movies as first dates? I feel like some people might disagree with me. I just feel like you can't talk enough.
But me being stupid, I was like, okay, sounds great. Plus, I mean, this guy was so cute, and he seemed like he was just my type. So I was honestly willing to do anything at this point. Fast forward, it's the day of the date, and I text him and I'm like, hey, are you picking me up or are we meeting there? Honestly, kind of hoping that he would pick me up, because I mean, like, that's what, you know, guys should do. And he responded and was like, no, like, you can just meet me there. So I got in my car and I drove half an hour to the movie theater that he wanted to go to because it was closer to his house. And again, me being stupid. So I drive to the movie theater and I get there at 11:15 a.m., which was so weird. Like, we saw it in the morning. So I got there at 11:15 a.m., which is right when we said we were going to meet each other. So I'm just kind of sitting in my car in the parking lot, like, waiting for him to show up because I didn't know what kind of car he drove. About 15 minutes pass and there's still, like, no sign of this kid. So I text him, call him, no response. At this point, the movie is about to start and I'm still just waiting in this parking lot all by myself. I definitely should have just left, but like I said, this guy was really hot and I wasn't about to miss out. Finally, I get a text and it says, I'm running late, be there in 5 minutes. 15 minutes later, he finally shows up and the movie has already started.
Oh, he showed up.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, he looked like crap. Like, he looked like he literally had just rolled out of bed. We go into the movie theater and he has me pay for my own ticket, which was kind of a red flag. And we go into the movie and it's a 3-hour movie about cars, and luckily it was already about 20 minutes into the movie, so I didn't have to sit there for the full 3 hours. And like, I was clearly pissed off at this point, but this boy started to try to make moves on me in the movie theater. I was so not having it. So finally the movie ended and he like tried to hug me goodbye and I just dodged the hug, got in my car, and never spoke to him again. But funny thing, he still tries to hit me up to this day.
What a wild, a movie as the first date at like 11:30 in the morning, has you meet there, doesn't pay for your ticket. It truly does. At this point, it doesn't even feel like a date. It feels like you're just like meeting up with a friend. Did y'all hear my stomach? It sounds like it's eating itself. God, I want to take my mic and put it down in my stomach, but no one needs to deal with my IBS.
So this guy had asked me on a date and I had said no. I should have stuck to my gut. Let's do my makeup routine together whilst I tell you about the worst day I ever had. I low-key still have PTSD from this. I've not been able to go to the restaurant that this happened at since the day it happened. I'm traumatized. I believe this was 2018, either 2017 or 2018. He asked me on a date again. I think the second or third time I agreed to go on a date with him. I don't know what made me agree to this, but I kind of just felt like, you know what, you just never know unless you try. The guy says, we're going on a date, get ready, I'm going to take you to Duck and Waffle. I say, okay, fine. The day has come for the date and I've gotten queued. I'm just waiting for him to pick me up. He comes to pick me up and he's late. Red flag number 1. I really should have just gone to bed at that point. By the way, this was a really late date night. It was like around 11. So he's come to pick me up. Everything's cute. He's a little bit of a gentleman.
11 p.m.
I was like, okay, yeah, this may be nice actually. Maybe it's good that I changed my mind. Wrong. He drives us to Duck and Waffle to have our very late dinner. We get there, it's super cute, we get seated. I would say the first half of the date was actually really nice. We got to talking, getting to know each other better. I thought it was kind of interesting. I think there were a couple things that we both enjoyed. So we eat a 3-course meal and then it gets to the end when we need to pay. Before I go further, to be fair to this guy, there was something going on with the banks. It was just how he handled this situation that just made me want to crawl under a rock and die. No. They bought our bill. His card isn't working. Then he says, okay, he's going to transfer money over, which I said, all right, cool, no worries. The second card isn't working. This goes on for about 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just pay for it. Initially, he's like, no, I don't want you to do that. Let me try sort this out. We stay there again for another 15 minutes. The waiter comes and is standing there with the card machine, literally staring at us like, where's the money? At this point, the embarrassment level for me is a 2 out of 10. It's embarrassing, but I understand what's going on, if that makes sense. The waiter sees that we're scrambling and calls his manager. His manager comes over and says, hey guys, we have another couple with a reservation on this table, so we're gonna need you to pay and leave. We say, yep, totally understand. We're just trying to sort out something with the bank. We're not sure what's going on. At this point, I'm not asking for permission anymore. I'm going to my bank and I'm trying to move money across as well. What happens then? My card isn't working. Not because there's no money, but there's something actually wrong with the banks. The manager comes again and we tell him again, both our cards aren't working. We're not sure what's going on. Just give us a minute. I'm checking my account like I see this money is in there. So why is my card not working? And obviously he's doing the same thing. The manager comes over again. He's like, no, really guys, you need to leave and you need to pay. When this happens, I think this guy was thinking, nah, this guy doesn't know who I am. So this guy looks at the manager and says this is exactly what he said. Hey, yo, look here. You see this watch? This is a 10K watch, yeah? See this watch, yeah? This is a 10K watch. Yeah, see that car out there, yeah? It's a 90K car. That's my car. I bought that outright. You get me? Guys, the floor should have opened up and swallowed me in that moment. Then the manager's like, yeah, you see that car, that Porsche over there? That's mine. I was like, why is there a pissing contest going on and why am I in the middle of it? This manager is obviously sending shots. He's like, that's my Porsche and guess what? I can pay for my bill. I almost lost it, guys. I was like, oh my God. The floor should open up now and take me. I will be good. I'll be fine if the floor opened up and took me right now. Jesus. I couldn't handle the embarrassment. Bear in mind, this is a packed night in Duck and Waffle. There are a lot of people here. As they said, the other people are waiting for their table. No. They're watching too. At this point, my embarrassment level is on 5. Then the manager says, my security is going to escort you down to the cash point so you can take out money. Is that all right? Guys, the world should have frozen over in that moment. Being escorted out of Duck and Waffle to go get cash from the cash point whilst everyone's looking at us. Do you know how embarrassing that is? At this point, my embarrassment level is on 9. I'm still looking at my accounts to see what's going on. I'm transferring over my savings at this rate because I'm like, did a direct debit go out? Is that why it's not working on my card? Like, what the hell? We get to the cash point and we're not able to take out cash. Like, the machines aren't working. We went to 2 different machines. The security's escorting us to 2, and he had to walk us downstairs, walk through everyone. Everyone saw that we were being escorted out to go to a cash machine. Do you know how embarrassing that is? This guy starts flexing. See? You see? See, I told you, it's not me, man. It's the banks, man. Then they bring out a document to say that we're gonna leave a possession of ours. What do you think this guy does again? This 10K watch. So my guy's in there talking about how great his watch is and how they should be careful with his watch because it's a 10K watch. Did you know how much it was? Because I don't know how much it was. So he's signing this document to say he's going to leave his watch here. They've essentially given him a timeline of when he can pay back and still be able to collect his watch. As this is all happening, I'm still going back into my account and I just said to them, you know what, let me try one more time to see if my card works. So this guy goes to call the manager to say we want to try out another card again. I try my card again, lo and behold, it works. Jesus actually had my back in this moment. At this point, he's actually already given his watch and signed the documents and things like that. So he calls over the manager for another pissing contest for something he hadn't paid for. This guy's carrying around the receipt like, hey, yo, boss, look, you see, we paid the bill. Roll me my watch. This guy then starts waving his hand in the air like he just came out of prison. Like this. Whilst people are looking. We finally leave without being escorted out this time. The entire car ride back to my house, this guy's just talking and I'm just livid. I was just thinking, bro, the way you're never seeing me again, you're actively not going to impress me by talking about your 10K watch. I don't like you now. He drops me back home and all I'm thinking is, I pray to God this man sends me the money back. Because if he doesn't, not only would I have gone on the worst date ever, I would have paid for that date. No. Got home, went to have a shower to wash off the embarrassment, and then I went to sleep. I woke up to find that he had texted me and sent me back my money, thank God. In his message, he's like, oh, that was nice, we should do it again. Do what? You'll never see me again. Would you think I'm in my right senses to go on a date with you again?
What do you guys actually do on a date like that, honestly? If it's the bank's fault, there's physically nothing I can do, I guess. I wouldn't even have a nice watch to leave. All my stuff is fake. I got stuff from Walmart, Dollarama. Any nice purse you see me with has either been gifted to me or it's literally fake. So I wouldn't even be able, I would have to leave myself. I would be the prized possession, put me to work, have me doing dishes in the back because I have nothing to offer here at this point. Stay classy out there, stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow. There might be a ghost in here.